So if all goes well, it should only be an hour and a half. The steering rack was already replaced, so it shouldn't be too hard to open up. Let's see how it goes. Thankfully, there's no major rust, but those bushings have seen better days. That's the main reason I'm installing these parts. They include new bushings, and bushings naturally wear out over time. That's my buddy Marco using PB Blaster and WD-40 to unseize the bolts. It's certainly not uncommon to use these fluids to help loosen bolts, but it shows these are likely original and have never been replaced. It's time. Apparently the front subframe wasn't even torqued down after the steering rack was replaced. It was about to come loose. I knew the steering rack needed to be retorqued a few months ago, which I had it done, but also the suspension bolt locations will mean the subframe will have to come off again anyway. Time for a much longer job. Hooray. Alright, the strut and spring combo are installed. Looks like the upper control arm is in there too. We're making some serious progress. I know I've talked a lot about bushings, but look at that. Now I know why my car was rattling and couldn't be aligned properly. If your bushings get this bad, please replace them or buy new parts that have bushings already pressed in. So it looks like we're done. You can see a good shot of the new parts fitting in there just fine. Now it's time for a much needed alignment and a test drive. Let's see if it aligns properly. So you guys have seen an alignment before, my other video with Kobe. Same machine, but definitely important to do that after suspension parts are changed. Let's see how it turns out. So here's something I didn't expect. So I had the fender bender in this spot, but so did the previous owner. Check this out, guys. Look how good the alignment is. I've never seen alignment specs that good on any car I've owned. And this is the only car I've owned that's been in an accident besides the S2000. But I thought it was just, lost cause. There'd been some kind of minor bending or something, but the subframe being attached properly now, steering rack being attached properly now, having the new tie rod ends, all the bushings and all the suspension parts we got, I honestly think that's what did it here. Without that, I would have been out of luck, but this is absolutely amazing. Hey everyone, so this is my first test drive with the new MaxpeedingRods front shocks, struts, control arms, upper and lower, and the tie rod ends. Let's see how she rides. If everyone will get going. Let's do a little pull here. Okay. Much less wheel spin. Wow. Second, there's none. That's good. Wow, okay. So, the car wouldn't actually align properly. I had it aligned in the inner side of the front driver's tire was absolutely annihilated. It looked like almost, not quite a 45-degree angle, but it was sharp. And now that the suspension's done and all the bushings have been replaced, because that's the big thing, it comes with bushings, everything. And when I bought this car, they had replaced the steering rack right before I got it, so the front subframe wasn't even bolted on properly. Or hardly at all, neither was the steering rack. So this car creaked and moaned and groaned, but now everything's been bolted up, buttoned up tightly. I have driven a low mileage Ford Fusion before. It was an automatic, but this feels a little bit more planted, a little bit more sure-footed. It's at least as far as acceleration goes, I'm not doing one of those big big dives, where the car kind of squats. But yeah, if you're gonna do the replacement on these Fusions, obviously OEM is nice. OEM in this car lasted over 100,000 miles. I'm at about 117 right now. But you can go OEM or you can go MaxpeedingRods, which I highly recommend so far anyway. Customer service has been great, but just the initial feel of being so planted and sure-footed, not squatting as much. I did do the rear suspension as well with similar parts, but MaxpeedingRods didn't make them. But yeah, so far the car just pulls nice. It's quieter up front too, and you can tell the alignment is great. The the wheel was about at this angle all the time just to keep it straight, which I knew was not good, but I had paid for the alignment, so I'm like, what the heck. But this is really nice. But let's see, you know, even just the alignment here and the way the car feels, it just feels like I took a roof box off or something, you know, one of those Thule boxes or whatever you call them, or a Yakima. It just feels more planted. It does not, though. It does not feel like I have lowering springs. The ride height feels the same, and you know, it doesn't really feel like the car's been dropped to gain that kind of handling increase. It does feel like it's OEM ride height, but just a little bit stiffer, a little stronger. Maybe the same height spec, but maybe a little stiffer springs, or the shocks themselves. But all right, let's see how we're doing. A little bit of downhill with the Fusion, but yeah, that didn't spin at all. That's awesome. In fact, let's go back to first rev match. Ooh, okay. I don't think it would have any way of improving the shifting, but it definitely, you know, the car feels solid. Wow, okay. So as far as reduction of noise, I'd call that a 9 out of 10. As far as the creaking that I had, everything feels great. Again, just the body roll or lack thereof. Instead of feeling like it's top heavy, it just kind of feels like it's being yanked side to side by the steering, which it's supposed to, which is really nice. But having the higher quality parts, instead of the either OEM or previously replaced, just feels like the car is just not just newer, but maybe they re-engineered it a little bit. Maybe they thought, you know what, we can improve this, kind of an OEM plus kind of plan, which me personally, that's what I do with all of my cars for the most part. Oops, almost went to third there. Yeah, under moderate acceleration, I'd say under half throttle, you don't feel any kind of squatting, which is new. But again, just no creaking. That's the big thing. Just feels, it just feels like it's a slightly different spring rate or suspension spec than what it was new, which is a good thing. It really just feels like, you know, hey, Ford made it this way, we're going to go a little bit harder, and it works. So let's see if we can use this on-ramp to our advantage. Give them some space, and then let's alright, not bad. Almost to Elk Ridge. Let's do it. Let's see how it pulls here now. Not bad. Didn't realize it was 40 there, but that is nice. We are really, now that the tires are warmed up again, very cheap tires, I didn't detect any wheel spin at all. It just gripped, and that was full throttle. That was really impressive. All right, let's see. Yeah, now we're talking. That turn is known for being pretty sharp, but whew. Even the body roll is just, I can't explain it. It just feels like there's weight lifted off the top, even though obviously that didn't happen. It just feels so much more solid and just grips in, even on cheap tires. But I mean, for the price, you can't go wrong. Thankfully, MaxpeedingRods has sponsored me, but so I got these parts for free. Labor was, you know, was labor, and Ahmed cut me a deal as always. I highly recommend them. They did a great job, and I was able to hang out, you know, enjoy myself, watch some TV while I waited. But man, this was awesome. But yeah, if you have a car like this, I mean, you're probably not going to get one with ultra low mileage. You got to do it. I mean, at first I thought, hey, maybe these parts are going to be kind of universal for all the different engines. It's going to, you know, be too stiff or something in the front. Nah, honestly, this is awesome. This is what the car should have had from the factory, and that's exactly what I like about it. And that I was going to sell the car, you know, I was going to sell the car, get a minivan, you know, just because, you know, my dad always says minivans are pickup trucks, but people don't ask you to help them move. But honestly, I am very impressed. I'll do a full video where I drive the back roads, but this is awesome. This is great, just as it is. Yeah, just grips, pulls, and it brought my car back to OEM spec in more ways than one. Not just the ability to have it aligned properly, do the alignment, but just, you know, the ride. It drives like it should. It drives like new. And wow, I really hope MaxpeedingRods makes parts for the rest of my my cars, my S2000, and then hoping to buy another car here soon. Fingers crossed. But this is really something. So pulling into Ahmed's shop now. Gonna say hi, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.